Hey guys, welcome to the lab. We're back with some more exclusive content. My good friend Aaron is in the lab today. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Staying busy. But you have graced us with your presence in the lab, and I'm very forever appreciative of you and our friendship. You've been a longtime supporter of mine, so the least I could do is get you in here and pick your brain a little bit and make some hats. So I'm excited for this. Yeah, I'm excited for whatever we end up creating. So just to give everyone a little bit of a background, you have been a long-time collector and supporter. You're not wearing it right now, but I kind of known you as the Oakland A's guy. So yeah, let's kind of take a look back and kind of let people know, what got you started in collecting hats, and how did that kind of come about?
Well, I've worn fitteds for a really long time. I can recall I can actually still remember the first fitteds that I bought on my own, because before that, when I was younger, it was just whatever snapback somebody bought for me or something like that. But when I decided that I wanted a fitted hat, I had to wait until I was old enough to drive. And then I was able to drive myself to Pier 39 in San Francisco, a very well-known tourist area that at the time, so this was 1986. Okay. So we didn't have all the stores that we have now, and getting fitted hats, number one, was not the easiest thing, at least for me. And number two, being able to have a variety of hats to choose from was even more difficult. So Pier 39, I was aware, had two stores there that I desperately wanted to visit. It was the MLB shop and the NFL shop. Two stores right next to each other on the second level of Pier 39. And I remember driving myself there, going to the store, and just being in awe at wall-to-wall hats and jerseys and shirts and memorabilia of all sorts of different teams. And I've been an A's fan all my life, but when I went there, the first non-A's fitted hat that I bought myself was a Minnesota Twins, the M logo, the Kirby Puckett era, M logo, was the first fitted I ever bought myself, along with a New York Giants hat, because weirdly enough, I'm a New York Giants fan for football. So both teams, I could never find anywhere, and so going there, buying those hats, it's just to add to my little collection of A's hats that I had. Back then, it was, typical for me to just have a regular old, A's green and gold, home version hat. So to add those two hats to the rotation was a big deal, at 16, because nobody else had hats like that, especially a fitted hat. So it was a real exciting thing for me to be able to go and get that stuff for myself. And from there, I knew that I liked fitteds more than snapbacks because of the way they fit my head. So I just kind of stuck with fitteds over time. And the moment that really where it turned to, there's two things where it turned to collecting. The first thing was a hat that got me out of the idea that everything had to be normal team colors. So what it was I can't remember the year, but it was like, I want to say 2016-ish, 2017 maybe. There was a hat club in my local mall, and I was walking past it, and I ducked in just to see what was there. And like I said, I never really paid attention to any hats that were not normal team colors. But I saw this Expos hat that was a gray two-tone with black, white, and gray in the logo for the Expos logo. and I just had to have it. It was just, I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. You know, I've never been, and it's just a gray hat, you know, a gray two-tone, you know, it's no big deal, but I just had to have it. And from that moment on, when I bought that hat, I was like, so there's other colors of baseball hats that I can get. And this is, this is okay. This is
Pandora's
cool.
box. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, so that really turned me to the idea that, that there's a lot more out there, and there's, you know, different colors to be had, a different, you know, just change the look up a little bit. So that was the first hat that really got me down that road. But the thing that changed me to collecting multiple hats was, I don't know if you, well, I'm sure you recall, New Era was doing New Era by You on their website long before they did this last round earlier this year. And I stumbled across that because I was doing my annual New A's hat, you know, from New Era, and stumbled across their New Era by You, and saw that I now had the freedom to not only figure out different colors that I wanted to do, but also some different logos that I'd never seen before or never thought of, you know, putting on a hat. So they had things like, they had a cascading logo that was a little different than, you know, what we are used to seeing today. It wasn't really cascading. It was more like 3 A's logos superimposed over each other and a little bit, you know, off kilter, you know, from each other. Okay. But there was, you know, that's the first time I ever saw, what are they called? What's the small, when they make the logo tiny and put it in the corner of the Flawless, right? Yes. That's the first time that I had ever encountered the Flawless logo as well. So I started making hats from New Era by You. And looking back at them, I didn't do anything spectacular or groundbreaking with them, but it was just the ability to create my own hat and put my own spin on it and change the colors that really made a difference for me. And it just kind of took off from there. You know, and before I know it, my little hanger that was in the closet that had 3 cubbies, you know, for hats, you know, became 2 of those hangers. And then that grew from those 2 hangers to 3 Rubbermaid containers that I was keeping hats in. And then pretty soon I ran out of shelf space in the closet. And then pretty soon I needed, you know, some containers, you know, so I started, you know, getting some of the drop from containers. And when I started with these, I started with, I don't know, 5. And it was on top of this shelf back here. And I thought it was the biggest deal. I thought it looked so cool, you know, to do that. And
it looks like you're starting to build in front of the records.
That's just one section. Building in front over here, over on this other wall, I've got 2 of those stand-up cases that are for shoes, you know, that everybody has, the canvas shelves, you know. So I've got 2 of those that are loaded with another stack of containers in front of those shelves right there. So it's you know, so like I said, you know, went from that to, I don't have an official count, but I'm guessing I'm somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 1,500-ish, you know, 1,500-ish, somewhere in that area. So
people ask me for my number all the time, and I don't want to count, and I kind of don't want to know. So once you get past a certain number, the uncountable number is like, it is what it is, man.
Well, because invariably, anytime, you know, you get the question of how many do you have, then the next thing that happens is there's people doing the math. And I'm like, dude, don't do that. Please don't do that.
My life would be a lot easier if this was cash.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know, it's the passion that unites us, and it's that kind of crazy bug that we all kind of have. And you know, I think it's funny, like how you kind of connect with collectors in general. It's just like, for me at least, you're always like that crazy hat guy, and then you finally meet other people who are like, whoa, there's other people out there that like the same thing I like, and then there's like, whoa, there's like people that have like way more than I do. So we kind of like enable each other a little bit, but still kind of sharing that same passion. And then it gets competitive, because then it's like, oh well, if I don't buy the A's hat, then you know, if I'm the A's guy, and you know, I gotta have it.
I can't let them see me in the same hat 6 months later. That's
so there's like all sorts of like little like weird things in the hobby that, you know, make us and kind of unite us and sometimes divide us. But
Right.
That's one of the things that I like about, you know, kind of collecting and just being in a really specific, you know, market, I guess, or not even industry, but what kind of word am I looking for? I guess niche, I guess.
Yes. I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you ever find it hard kind of balancing being like a passionate sports fan versus like hat collector? So like I know you mentioned getting like the Minnesota hat and you're currently wearing a DC hat. Like do you ever kind of fall under like the, you know, maybe I shouldn't wear this because I'm supposed to be an A's fan or anything like that?
No, you know, at first, I mean, early on, yes, I struggled a little bit with it.
Yeah.
I was like when it came to, you know, being an A's fan, there was a period of time where I wouldn't buy any hats within the division. You know, I would stay strictly to A's within the division, and then I would allow myself to, you know, to like I rationalize like, oh, well, the Expos, they don't exist anymore, so, you know, I'm good there, you know, so you know, so I could rationalize it that way. But then, you know, over time, as you know, you get exposed to other logos, and once you start to appreciate the creation itself, the depth of embroidery and the different color combinations and stuff like that, you start to see the logos as something separate than the team, at least for me, you know, and that's the way I kind of got away from it. And what's funny is that when it comes to baseball, you know, I don't really have well, I do. I have one single no buy, but all the rest, you know, are pretty much open game. The one I have a baseball hat for every team in my collection except for one, and that's the Giants. You know, rival team. You know, and obviously we don't hold a candle to them recently, you know, in terms of their success, but I still hate them. So you know, so that's the one hat that I won't get, but early on, I did struggle a little bit with it, but clearly I got past it, you know, and it was just because, like I said, I appreciated the hat from a different perspective. It wasn't a sports perspective anymore. It was the fashion aspect of it. You know, I really liked the way the hats looked and the different colors that were available and stuff that I never imagined that I would like, you know, came up. And now football's a different story. Football's I still stick to nothing in the division. I still stick to that.
For whatever reason, I feel like football and basketball are more tribal, and then like you stick to like, you know, what you like and who you are and stuff like that. But for me, I think like expanding to other teams kind of was easier once I got to know more people in the community. So it became less about like, oh, Houston Astros. It's like, no, that's like Big Dave's team, or the Phillies. It's like, no, I think of Pancake, you know, like stuff like that. Like the A's, I think of you and Chad and stuff like that. So and even though you hate the Giants, I think of Hazor and stuff like that. So it's like
exactly,
you know, it's like the homies. It's like now you can kind of be like, hey, you know, like look at this. Like I think you know, I think that's what's really cool about it. When it becomes less about the thing, because it's like the hat and the capsule itself and everything is just, you know, that's what kind of brings us together. Like we're all crazy in our different ways, but you know, what makes us the same is that we love collecting hats. So I think that's kind of helped me a little bit, but you know, everyone's still gonna have their ideas. I still like, you know, think about the times where like I met like people outside the collecting world, and then like my buddy Jeff, like he's the brother-in-law of one of my best friends. And one time I was wearing like an old school Phillies hat. Oh, you're a Phillies fan? I'm like, no, I'm a Jays fan. I was like, so what the hell are you wearing a hat? I'm like, it doesn't mean I'm a Phillies fan. You know, I can appreciate I can appreciate Mike Schmidt, and the Blue Jays don't have a nice cardinal red hat. So the hell am I, like, you know, what are we gonna do? We didn't wear maroon and whatever. So just like really, you know, getting to appreciate the art behind the logos is like really cool.
Yeah, you literally just took the words right out of my mouth. It is appreciating the art, because there is an art form to it. You know, there is you know, some special stuff going on when you look at those logos, especially when you're looking at sports logos over time, you know, and I see the progression and the evolution of the logo and how it changes over time. And then, of course, the evolution led to side patches, you know, being on hats, and that again led to some of the artistry of it, you know, and giving you more to look at and more to enjoy, you know. And I was resistant for a long time on side patches too, you know. So, but again, I fell to the artistry, you know, and really enjoyed what I was seeing there.
Yeah, and then like certain teams like just look weird in different colors, and like certain colors like don't work for certain teams, like you know. But yeah, like we can get past that. But in terms of like your hats, do you still have the ones that you created from the New Era by You program?
I do. Yes, I do. I have them all. Yeah. Some are scattered into different crates, you know, and you know, because they're not as I didn't enjoy them as much over time. But there's a couple that are still in my, like, you know, you have a special section for your Jays hats that you like the most, right? So that's, you know, that I do have a section like that for the A's, and there's several of the New Era by You hats still in there. And,
I might have to get
I try to take care of them. I tried to, you know, really be considerate of not wearing them out, because I knew that, you know, they were irreplaceable in that sense. I couldn't just go and buy a replacement. I did. Now, again, talking about New Era and New Era by You and how that kind of flipped the switch for me into collecting. That's one of the times when I started doing multiple hats, you know. So like when I made a hat and I really liked it, I went back on the site and I made it again, you know, and so I had an extra one just to put away, you know. And then
I'm sure that made your wife real happy. She's like, not only just buying hats again, buying the same hat you already own.
And back then, you know, when New Era by You was available, that was expensive, you know, for a hat, you know.
It was like $70, right?
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark shipped, you know. So I mean, so it didn't seem awful, but it was still in trim, because that's back when hats were still in the $30 range, I think, you know, somewhere around there. So it was pricey, you know. So to get a second one was like, I mean, you know, I felt guilty doing that, but it had to be done, because, you know, I really liked the hat and I wanted to make sure and preserve it, you know. Now, unfortunately, my favorite of all of them, I did not double up on, and it was one that I didn't appreciate quite as much until later on, and so I rediscovered it. I think like maybe 3 years ago, I rediscovered it when I was doing some rearranging and stuff, and pulled it out, and I'm like, oh, that's dope. You know, that's a really nice hat. So, but the funny thing is that that really stood out to me was that was a time, that New Era by You time was a time when under the UV, the colored UV wasn't a thing yet. And I could have done colored UVs, but in this instance, in the one that is my favorite, I made it black. I made it a black UV, you know, unusually. I mean, I wouldn't even consider that, you know, today, but it's something that I did then, because I liked, when I was making those hats, I liked to match the undervisor color to the crown color. And in that instance, the crown was black. So I went with a black undervisor. Like I did one that was an olive green color for the crown, and the UV was also olive green, you know. So that's kind of the scheme that I like to go with.
I got to get you to send me some of those pictures. Maybe we add it in posts, and we'll kind of give our viewers like some visual overlay of
I'm pretty sure
past situations.
I think I sent one of them to you, and it might have been the one.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at the email right now, but yes, I did send it to you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. There is one in there, so you do have it in email. So, but that's my favorite one by far. But I'll also send you the original one too, which is kind of the same variation of colors, just a different logo type and stuff like that.
Awesome. All right, cool. So now
I also sent you that Expos one that I talked about that changed things for me.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. So it's that A's logo. It kind of looks like it's 3 stacked on one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's badass. All right. Cool.
It turned out, you know, I mean, like I said, it turned out really good. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is different, you know, and I wasn't totally ready for it, you know, when I got that. And like I said, it took me a little bit to appreciate it, but you know,
Yeah,
Now I
that's
love
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's get you in here and kind of start this process. We got you in here to make some hats. So, what is the first hat you kind of want to do?
I think I would be remiss if I didn't start with an A's hat. I think that's because of who I am and the fact that I'm a huge A's fan and collector of tons of A's hats. I think I want to start with that. And as we had talked about, the cascading logo that we've been seeing, more and more recently. I really would like to do one of my own, and again, put a different color spin on it, that is me, but at the same time will reflect the Oakland team colors as well.
All right, so we're gonna redo. I'm gonna have to kind of put together a cascading logo.
Sure.
I don't have one handy. So color number 1, the top color.
So the top color, I want it to be white. I don't know if optic white is the right white to go with, because my idea with the color is that I want the color breaks to be the actual team colors, but I want to do metallic green and gold.
Okay.
Does that seem doable to you? And I'm not sure of the best way to alternate that.
Yeah.
But I know I want the A to be white because I want the cascade to.
That's easy. And then what color for the outline of the first layer? So if this is white, that green color, what do you want it to be?
Let's keep it. Let's see here.
So also, I'll show you too. So the A's, they use Kelly. Oh, so first thing I need to find out. So for the A's, are you going for the Kelly green or the dark green that they currently use?
I think that. Well, let's see. So
is different eras. So here, I'll show you.
I gotcha. I know the eras that you're talking about. What I'm thinking of is, because the metallic green that I'm thinking of, is there more than one metallic green color, or is there only one? So, and that's more of a Kelly green.
Is it not? I think it leans more Kelly. I'll pull it too. I mean, these always show up a little different than when you get them in hand.
Sure, right.
So yeah, it probably leans more Kelly.
Okay.
More Kelly than the field. So if that's the case, also then you get into this internal struggle with me knowing the difference between yellow and gold. So they use more of a yellow, but it's athletic gold. So
So then,
I don't know how true you want to stick to that.
Let me ask you this: would I get a better effect, on the cascade if I just used regular thread as opposed to metallic thread?
I guess it depends on what you're going for. So you want to be white with metallic green outline, and then kind of rotate metallic green and metallic gold. That's your thinking?
Yes.
The thing
that's
is,
what I was thinking.
If you end up doing that, it might look more like St. Mary, St. Vincent type looking, almost like a Notre Dame type color. I mean, we can mock it up. I have no problem mocking it up. So here, let's do it.
So then, now that you mentioned that, because now that you mention it that way, the crown color that I was thinking is going to even lead more to what you're talking about, because the crown and brim color combination I wanted to use was oceanside blue crown and a seaweed color brim.
Okay.
So is that going to kind of,
we can try it.
Yeah.
Let's try it and see how it kind of ends up. So the second layer, what do you want to do? Which color?
So now here's the other question. Is it better to can we alternate the colors, or is it
Mhm.
that does it give a better effect if it's you know, 3 color makes green, 3 color makes yellow? You know what I mean?
And we could try both and see which one you
Okay.
like better. Because it goes from, I mean, you won't see it here obviously now, but
Right.
it goes from like white, yellow, green, black, then white. So it's like kind of like a, and then you said like an oceanside blue hat.
Mm-hmm. Crown oceanside blue
Mm-hmm.
with a seaweed brim. I really
Mm-hmm.
want to see what those colors look like together if they're going to work, because I think they will. And my thought process is that the contrast in those colors is going to really bring the A's logo out even more.
Dark seaweed brim. All right. That's like a darker green. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that up on the hat first and then kind of take it from there. So this, move down. Gold, we didn't use any.
I really enjoy this part of the process, you know, watching you work with this, because just seeing in different episodes, you know, I've really, you know, I've never seen the, you know, different people's processes, and I like the way that you lay out the colors all together in blocks, so it's all, you know, in your workspace, you know, and it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, when I'm making it, I'm making you watch the small one. My apologies.
Thank you. That's okay.
Yeah, it's just something I've always done and been doing, and normally you don't really need to do this kind of stuff, but you just get on the phone with the rep and do it, right? But
yeah,
I'm an impatient person. I'm like,
right.
I'll just be like, hey, let me help you with that. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. Keep in mind the final product will have like a little bit. Oops. Hold on, let's keep this original. The final one will have some breaks in it.
Sure.
I don't know, for whatever reason I couldn't get.
Yeah, I like we're seeing on there, which again is fine, because I think that will give a little bit more contrast, you know, within the logo to make those colors stand out.
Yeah. Okay. That looks kind of cool. I like it. Are you happy with kind of how it's stacking?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
It's different. All right, and then what were you thinking of for patches? Now, I mean this with no disrespect, but the A's have some of the worst side patches.
The worst. So limited, and so, you know, just, I mean, so tired. Honestly, you know, I mean, you know, it's just, you know, to be honest, I was so completely sick of the Battle of the Bay patch, because that's all it was for the longest time, and then they went away from it, and then everybody used the 40-year patch to death and the 50-year patch to death, and I was just like, oh my god, bring back the Battle of the Bay. I'm totally good with it, you know. So my original thought was the Battle of the Bay patch for this, but I'm also interested in actually using the spring training logo, the elephant face with the sunburst around it. You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, the cooling elephant. Okay, yeah.
Let's see here.
He's got the sunglasses.
That's what I want to double check. Is yes, the one with the sunglasses.
Okay. Have you seen it work well on a side patch? Like, is the size good and stuff?
You know, it depends. It depends on the colors. You know, like if there's, you know, if there's a lot of colors in there, it looks kind of funny. But yes, I have seen it, you know, on a side patch, and I think it does look pretty decent. Let's see. I feel like I've got one handy.
I'm seeing two. So there's this one, and then this one. I don't even know what the difference is. Maybe as an A's fan, you gotta fill me in. I'm seeing these two as options. Let me check my guide here. I know sometimes they're not good about showing all the stuff. Yeah,
I don't see a ton of difference other than maybe the thickness on the line of the circle that's around the sunburst there. That looks a little bit heavier on the white one, but I don't know if that's just an illusion because of the white.
His glasses look different too.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because there it's got the glare lines.
Yeah.
I like the white background one better, to be honest.
Okay. We can work off that one. I'm just kind of curious what looks like stitched up batting practice logo and 50. Let me look up real quick.
I'm trying to see if I've got one handy right here, but I don't.
I want to say I have one, but I don't want to end up pulling my Oakland box.
Oh, wait.
And I'm not.
I do have one.
Because I know it works real well as a front logo.
I don't know how well the light shows that.
Oh, hold on. Let me make you big 1 sec. That's not bad. So he does have the stuff in the sunglasses.
Yep. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. Okay.
Actually, this one, the stuff in the sunglasses on this one almost looks like eyeballs. Here, look at it again. It almost looks like eyeballs.
That's funny. Yeah. I like it though.
As opposed to but overall, it does seem to stitch up okay in that size.
That outline is so strong too.
Mm-hmm.
Almost overpowering.
On the elephant itself, or on
the rays of the sun? You see how there's like that big bold outline it has?
Yes. Yep.
I don't know why it looks so thick there, but we'll make it work. All right. So how are we gonna color this bad boy?
Okay.
So like it kind of looks like that after it's outlined.
Oh, okay.
Right? Does it have an outline around the rays, right?
Yep. Yeah, because in this version, the heavy outline is white, and the inner is the yellow.
Yeah. So
I kind of like the way that looks though with the green outline.
Okay. Sorry to cut you off. Would you do this instead of gray? We could bump that to like a metallic silver or metallic aluminum.
Yeah. Yes.
So you're a New York Football Giants fan. No affiliation to the Raiders at all? You don't like the Raiders?
I do like the Raiders. I mean, as far as Bay Area teams were concerned, when the Raiders were here in town, I did follow them more than the 49ers.
Okay.
I just kind of gravitated to them for some reason. And in my house, there wasn't a whole lot of affiliation with teams. We watched whatever was on. And, whether it was 49ers or Raiders, we watched and rooted for whatever was on. It wasn't until I got older and had friends that were specific to the Raiders or the 49ers that, I took an interest in either one. And I really just kind of stuck with the Raiders.
Because we can throw in a little thing where use a metallic aluminum, because that's what the Raiders use.
Yes, so, I gotcha. I think that would look cool because the metallic aluminum looks brighter than metallic silver also, right?
It's not as dark. So
gotcha.
I think that'd be a cool touch. And then metallic green where the green is.
Yes. I definitely like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then
because then that'll connect it to the front logo, metallic green a little bit too.
Exactly. So metallic green. And I'll give him a reason to wear sunglasses because of the future is bright. All right. So I'll move this up here for now. This is done. And just like that, we're almost done.
Right. Is the yellow that you're using in there, that's the same yellow that we have in the front logo as well? Or?
No? No. Thanks for reminding me. We got to change that. So we got to use the lighter yellow.
Yeah, let's see how that looks. Ew, that doesn't look as good.
No.
So maybe we do this. Maybe we keep that in that side patch and change the logo to that to match that. Because that's clearly going to pop better.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. So for 2 spots.
Yep.
But the white, you still can't see the white. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yeah, you still can't see the white there, but we'll see it. Okay, I can see it like that. Okay.
Yeah, just because it's on the white background. I can add a thing to change it after. It's all against.
It's fine. Once you have it on the crown, you'll see it. So.
Yeah, this is all reminders on how I'm gonna build it with the rep we work with. Shout out to Jack. One of the best in the business.
I hear nothing but fantastic things about Kat.
Yeah.
Chad raves about her.
But it's saying Kat we trust. That's that's like a saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really like the way this is coming together. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because it almost looks like a sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
Like a daisy.
And I like that and what I like about the choice of the seaweed brim is that it's just different enough from the embroidery that it gives it just a different level of color, which is what I always like in a hat. When because it's easy, at least in my opinion, it's easy to get stuck in a three-color pattern. And even though this is a three-color pattern, I still like to see a different shade of a color just to give it a little more depth.
Exactly. So we didn't get to this part. So sweatband, white, black.
This is always tricky.
Do you not
white
care?
Looks so much cleaner.
White,
the white always.
I say this every time. White looks better. Black's more practical. So it's up to you on where you want to go with. There's no wrong answer.
I know. I gotcha. Let's do white.
Okay. And then the
Let's
under?
do white.
Are we going gray? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I had a feeling you would go there.
Yeah. We don't need to pack any more color into that,
It's interesting how the colored undervisor really propelled mass hysteria for fades.
Right.
But now everyone is just moving away from it. Like I'm cool with it. I've always loved green and gray.
Yes, green for sure for me.
Green's my favorite. Yeah.
Yes, all-time favorite, green.
But you got green on the top, so
I like it better when it gives a contrast in the gray. In this case, I think the gray is just perfect.
Yeah. All right, so green. All right, and then Batterman. Are you flat, raised, don't care?
Let's go with flat.
Okay. And how do you want to color that?
I think. I want to use the same green and gold, that we have.
Mm-hmm. And then just white in the middle.
Yeah,
with white
I
as
think
the
so.
outline.
Yeah.
All right. That's easy.
Yeah, let's see how that looks.
It's not coloring as nicely as I want it to be. Like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And just, like I said, just make the colors match, and I'm totally happy with that.
All right, hat one.
I'm really excited that, that's very, very close to my vision. The side patch was a little bit different. I think I originally envisioned the Battle of the Bay, but I like the way this looks better, to me, and I'm not seeing the spring training or those other alternate logos quite as often in the side patch. So I definitely like that.
All right, so let me get rid of this stuff because we did not use this stuff. Stuff can go. Okay. Rasterize. I think we got everything we needed.
Awesome.
Manila. Oh no, we didn't use any field green. We just used the Manila, which is the athletic gold.
Gotcha.
So this is
which green did we actually use?
Metallic green.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
Yeah.
So it's all metallic green in there. Okay.
Metallic green on the thread, seaweed on the fabric. Yeah. Yeah. Ready to lock this one in?
I think so. Now, I'm not crazy in that black with that black color break, am I?
No.
Because the reason I like it is because I just feel like it gives it just that extra level of separation that kind of makes that cascade really take off to me. You know,
to me it's like an extra break. It's almost like a shadow, and then you get the break, and then you're going from white, yellow, green. So it's like a you know.
Yep.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
And cool. I don't really love cascading logos, but I think you did a cool. Yours is like cool. It's different. So let me just do this real quick. I'm just gonna put this behind the blue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's like people who are like professionals that are just yelling at their screen. It's just like the way I've done it and whatever.
Right.
I don't like it.
Hey, like I said, you know, I like seeing the way that your process works. I think this is really interesting, and just, you know, you have a good organized manner, you know, with your workflow here. I like this.
Yeah. I just know that anytime I do something like this with like actual artists, like for my clink room and stuff like that, they're always like screaming at me. Not screaming, but they're like, I can't believe you're not using Illustrator, or you know,
gotcha.
You do it this way, or but it's cool. Like they get to show me different shortcuts and stuff. So
right, absolutely. That's I'll tell you something. You know that custom hats are, you know, the clink room. You mentioned the clink room, and if I had to, you know, if my wife one day said you can only buy one style of hats, make a choice. It's either baseball hats or it's clink room hats. I'd make the change. I'd go exclusive clink room. You know, I mean, and you know, just you know, those custom pieces. You know, just every single one of them is an individual piece of work that, you know, I just love the idea. And honestly, Leon, you're the one that got me started on that. You know,
really?
And it wasn't the clink room; it was your hats. It was the Foo Dog that was my very first custom. That was you know, a break from sports hats. You know, and I still remember the first time that I saw the image of it. I missed the first one, and I was crushed. I missed it by like 2 weeks. You know, I think from when you had put it out there, and I was like, oh my God, how did I miss that? And then fortunately you came out with the next version, and I was all over it. And that just blew it open for me. I was all just all over.
No, you've
all over that.
Anytime I've done anything remotely Asian themed or whatever, you've got. So forever appreciative of the support you've shown my brand and stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. You know, it's you know, I mean, it's easy. You put out, you know, you do good stuff. You know, you've always done, you know, stuff that's different and stuff that, you know, appeals to my taste. And, you know, I mean, I mean, like I said, you know, back then I wasn't even considering that kind of stuff, you know, and you showed me a different avenue of hats that I didn't know that existed. You know, I mean, because that was, you know, the Foo Dog, the Moonwalker, you know, that kind of stuff was just, to me, that's what got me excited about hats, about collecting, because I was like, I didn't even know that stuff existed, you know.
Awesome.
I really, you know, nor did I see myself gravitating that kind of stuff and having multiple ones of it, because again, back then that stuff was, I couldn't just go to a store and buy it. I couldn't go to a website and just, you know, order it up. It was, you know, making connection through community that helped lead me to that. And you know, obviously, you know, my connection to you led me to that kind of stuff. And then from there, that's when I started to discover the clink room in the old form, you know, because that was before clink room. That was during
before it came back. Yeah.
And so at that point, clink room was just legend for me. You know, it was nothing that I'd ever held in my hand or anything. So your stuff was the closest I ever got to something like that. And then obviously when the clink room came back, I jumped in with both feet, and they've been
nonstop. I think they're over 1,000 designs by now.
Easily. Yeah, easily. Yeah, and it's like, I just, I mean, the Clink Room now is close to rivaling my baseball collection.
Really?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming on. But I mean, because like I said, if I have to make a hat budget choice, I'm going Clink Room. Because
Wow.
there's so few opportunities where you can buy a hat that is a completely different, individual, unique piece every time. And that's how I see the Clink Room. Is
I could tell you though, if you're probably walking in a room with a Clink Room hat, you're going to be the only one in the building with one, most probably.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have yet to ever see somebody that wasn't a collector with a Clink Room hat. And I've never walked down the street wearing a Clink Room hat and seen another person with a Clink Room hat. Now, I have gone into like a sports shop, and I'll never forget, when the first round of 2.0 Clinks came, and I got the hummingbird. You remember the hummingbird hat?
Mm-hmm.
I wore that while I went to the mall and looked at this sports shop, and I just remember the shop, the owner of the shop, just kept staring at my hat. And the whole time I was looking at the wall, he just kept staring at my hat, and he's like, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a custom. It's called the Clink Room, and you order these. You have to wait, months, sometimes years, for it to come back." And I said, "But it's a complete custom hat. It's just pre-order only." And he's like, "I've never seen anything like that before." And I was like, "Awesome. That's that's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about."
We got to get you on the Sunday show. I'm working on a big project where we're just recoloring stuff. So we'll talk.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. That's totally cool.
Yeah. So
I'm a huge fan, a huge supporter of the Clink Room. I've been fortunate enough to develop a relationship with Casey over time. Casey is such an easy to talk to guy, and he appreciates shared passion, for the projects and everything that they're doing. And I tell him a lot, how much I appreciate what he's doing and what he's bringing to the community, because I personally think it's something special. And I know that a lot of people criticize the Clink Room heavily because of the long wait times, and sometimes dates change and get pushed out and so on. And I'm just like, you know what? If you want a Clink Room hat, the best thing you can do is order it. Just forget about it. And then when it shows up. Yeah, exactly. Then when it comes, it shows up. It's a huge surprise, and I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be sad that you had to wait 8 months for that hat, because it's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
All right. Well, sorry about that tangent, everyone.
That's okay.
Let's get back to business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hat 2. What are we doing?
Okay, let's. I think this one, this idea is going to be easier to execute. So let's knock this one out. I want to try the 51s if we can give that a shot.
All right, and you want which logo? You want just
I
head?
want the original. I want the original alien head logo with the seams in the head.
Yeah,
if we can do that.
Let's do that.
Well, we won't find out that out until later.
We won't find out until they tell us. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But for now, I mean, we've been seeing them coming out.
Right.
So I don't.
Now here's the other thing too. One of the things that I've noticed about that logo on the original hats is that the logo itself seems kind of small on the crown.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to make it bigger? No. It is what it is.
Is it possible? Sure. Is it easy to do?
Yeah. No.
So basically, we'd have to probably get it repunched in.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be an easy task. So it's easier to find one that's in there and just use it.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I really, really dig that logo. If it's the same size as what, has always been there, I will live with that if it means that the hat gets made. I mean, if we put it together and they say, yeah, we can do this, I'm thrilled. So even if it's not a bigger size logo.
When I go to make this with Kat, I will try to find the larger logo.
Okay.
But if it's not in there, I don't really think there's much we could do.
Right.
type thing. So just keep that in mind. So this is the one you're looking for, right?
Yes, that's the one.
All right, and what's the side? You want to do the 35 seasons, the season to remember?
Let's see here. Actually, I don't know. Again, I don't know if we can do this, but that I mean, the 35 seasons would be cool because I like the fact that it has the alien head logo in the patch.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked the idea of using the road hat logo, which is just the 51s with the swirls in it. I don't know how to describe those circles, but it's like
it almost looks like an atom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. There's one that, hold on. Let me find it. Yeah. Okay, I see it. The alternate. Yep. I got it.
I'd like to use that, if it's possible. I mean, hey, I'm dreaming, so let's dream big.
I mean, let's mock it up and see what we can do.
Yep.
So
So
it's this one, right?
Yep.
All right, I like it. All right, and what are we thinking of for colors?
Okay, so I definitely have colors in mind. Just drawing from, some different inspirations of shows that I've watched, that I really enjoy. There's a, let's see, I don't even know if I can describe these colors. It's a shade of blue, but it's not like a navy. It's not like a deep navy blue.
Yeah, I'll pull the blues for you. Yeah, we're just gonna go through a little fast forward for you guys here. We skipped this part. We're just picking the right blue for the hat, and we end up picking up brown as well. Hopefully it's in here. I love this team, and I was heartbroken.
Yes.
When they
rebranded. Agreed. Yep.
Because they were an affiliate to my Toronto Blue Jays back in the day.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Yep. I have those.
I had it.
Yep.
So there is two colors.
Oh, okay.
So see here, the darker part.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see.
So do you want to find a darker green, or you want to use two of the same greens?
No, is it possible? I mean, is it easy to find a shade darker than that?
Of course.
Yeah, let's try that.
Reinhardt. Rolling Meadows. I already found it. So we can go this way. Yeah, it's two different. It's pretty much the same color.
Right, it almost
just
looks
a little bit darker.
Yeah,
we can go even darker if you want. But here you start getting into like shit that's almost slime.
Yeah. No, that's definitely
like
too dark.
Far off. We can do sea foam, but now you're getting more into like the teal turquoise.
Ah, gotcha. Oh yeah, that's too blue. Yeah.
And then
I think we just go with the green oak and the rolling meadows.
Yeah.
Now the trick is, do we use the rolling meadows as that secondary?
Yeah, I think so. Because if green, like this is way too bright.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think like I think green oak is more of the color.
Yeah.
Do the dark one first. See how it colors. I have a feeling I'll do that.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned it because that, about the picture. Oh, I see. And that made the laces match that color too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. And what do you want to do with the black?
Metallic black.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Metallic black.
And then what do you think? Just keep the dot in the rim of the eye just optic white?
Yeah, we can do that. See, like I wish you could make it this big.
See, if we could get the logo that big, dude, that'd be awesome.
I'm gonna do my best to find it.
That would be so great.
But it's so small in comparison.
I know.
It's probably closer to that.
Right.
So I'll do my best.
Awesome. Thank you.
So what are we doing here?
I'm going to fast forward this part for you guys. The side patch that we ended up using didn't get approved, so we had to use an alternate logo anyway, so we're just going to fast forward through this for you.
And how do you want to do the Batterman?
Let's do...
I feel like now that you've introduced silver, you almost got to do the white for the silver.
Yep. I agree.
And then we can do the same blue as the blue, and then the green as the red.
Yeah. I like that.
Like that?
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Now we're going to do the UV.
I want
you said that tan, right?
Like a tan, yeah. See, it's kind of funny. This just fits, so well with. I'm a big science fiction nerd, so this kind of stuff, is just perfect.
Yeah. Is this Panama tan, wheat, bronze, khaki? And then there is like this camel kind of color, mango mocha.
I like the wheat. What's the camel look like compared to the? No, I like the wheat better.
Okay. Wheat. And then black or white for the...
Black. Let's go black on this one.
Quick time lapse for you guys. We end up spending about 10 minutes deciding on which blue we should use before settling on seashore blue.
All right.
I think we're
second one in.
I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're just rolling along here.
Hell yeah. And I really appreciate your input. Your input helps me a lot because not everything's fully formed here in this head. So
it's hard to do it, man. I mean, like now that you're on the spot, like.
And not only that, this is the one thing that I hate about the criticism that I've heard people put out there. Oh, you're not a hat designer. You're just picking colors. Well, it's not that easy. I mean, it's not just as simple as saying, okay, give me these 3 colors and let's, make it look good.
No, especially if you want it to come out good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Anyone could just haphazardly, throw some stuff together. But if you really want like a good piece, then it's not easy. But all right, let's move on to hat 3. What are we doing?
This one is going to be interesting how we get this to work. This one, prototype logo. And prototype Astros logo. And I saw you mock up a hat where the front 2 panels of the hat are a different color than the rest of the panels. And I want to do that. I want to use navy as the side and back panels, and like a maroon or a burgundy, and maybe even a cardinal red. I'm not quite positive. I have to see it to know it's right, but I think it's more like it's back to the pictures that I showed you. But I want that maroon or burgundy or whatever color that is to be the front 2 panels. And then what I'm envisioning is the visor to be graphite.
Okay. All right, let's do it. So you threw out a lot of colors. So I'm trying to find a good prototype logo for us to work off first.
All right, if you made it this far, man, shout out to you. I'm gonna speed through this hat a little bit. This has ended up being a really long episode and a lot of recording. I might revisit releasing this content later, but this hat went through a lot of iterations, a lot of different edits and changes, and I want there to be enough time for you guys to cop the release. So for now, this is his third hat, and yeah, hopefully you guys can guess the inspiration.
All right, we going hat 4, or are we calling it?
I don't have an idea for hat 4.
Oh, you only had 3.
Okay. I only had 3. Yeah.
Okay. I
only had 3. So I'm feeling frisky. I'd love to go for 4, but I don't have any thought out ideas, and you and I'd end up sitting here for another 2 hours trying to pull something together.
That's fine. Whenever you're ready, we'll come back.
Okay. But, all right.
It was a lot of fun, man. Catching up. I feel like we used to talk more, and you know, things got in the way. You know, everyone's busy. Life, you know, happens. Yep. So,
well, you know, awesome I definitely would like to make it a regular thing that we're talking. You know, I mean, it's you know, I really respect the work that you do, and I feel like you've got a lot to offer, you know, in terms of, you know, the things that you're doing, and I'm fascinated by this process. You know, I mean, I literally, dude, I could sit here and watch you do work that for hours. You know, I mean, it's just, I'm totally fascinated by it. It's it reminds me, this may be a poor analogy, but it reminds me of that TV show, How It's Made. I don't know if you ever watched that, but I could sit there for hours and watch this show, How It's Made, just to see certain things made. It's the same thing watching you put a hat together. You know, it's you know, it's really, you know, it's a really cool process. And I know I'm a hat nerd in that sense that, you know, I mean, it's, you know, just watching the evolution of the hat come together is really neat. So, you know, honestly,
this was always something that, like, it always, like, did well anytime I did, like, any type of mock-up video or any type of how-to, and it just kind of spawned as, like, a, you know, like, what the heck, why don't we just do a show that's kind of like this, and getting to, you know, get to know people and their stories, and having them tell it through hats. And this is like a weird art form.
Right, absolutely. I feel like I didn't give you enough storytelling, you know, you know, with my ideas, you know, like I said, you know, I mean, I want to give my inspirations and stuff, but I also, you know, my inspirations just come from the idea of, I like the way cool hat colors look. That the last one we just did, obviously, you know, had some things, you know, around it, but the other two, you know, were just straight up, this is what I think is going to look really cool, you know, color wise, you know.
No, I honestly think more hats kind of should be made like that, and less about, you know, let's take something and translate it, and more like, let's aesthetically build something that looks cool and that you like. So, you know, I can't wait for you to potentially get some of these in hand, and for you to take that signature house head picture. But yeah, man, this has been a blast. I can't thank you enough for spending some time and clearing your schedule to come hang out and just fuck around. But
well, thank you, you know, again for putting out the invitation. I'm eternally flattered, you know, when I get to do something like this with especially with you, you know, you've just, you know, you've got, like I said, you've just got so much behind you and doing this kind of work, and I feel like, you know, I get an opportunity, you know, when I get an opportunity like this, it's special, you know, and I really, I know it took me a while to get my schedule open for this, but, you know, I was thrilled, you know, with the idea that I'd be able to spend some time with you to do this kind of stuff. So
awesome.
Really cool.
So until next time, Leon and Aaron, we're signing out, guys. Stay fitted.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys, we are back. We've flash forwarded 4 months. You guys have been watching us kind of mock up and put together these 3 hats. We have Aaron back in the lab today. Aaron, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad.
I'm excited to see these hats, and you just mentioned it's been 4 months, and that went actually surprisingly fast because I know I've been super busy personally wise, but I think part of it too is I was wondering, are all of these going to get made or not? And so I didn't really have that anticipation of knowing for sure that they were all going to, so I didn't agonize quite as bad, over that 4 months. But that was a fast 4 months, to say the least.
And then now a box has magically appeared. We've done the work. We've got these hats approved in production and sent to you. You're about to do a live reaction. Hopefully, it's a good reaction. I'm hopeful. But at the end of this episode, we'll have 3 hats to drop directly at promosports.com. So this is exciting. So we're going to take it back and we're going to test your memory a little bit. We did mock up 3 hats. So let's get your thoughts on the first one. So this was the first one we did. What do you remember kind of about the process and your idea and your reasoning behind?
So for me, on the reasoning behind the A's hat is obvious because, I'm a big A's fan, have been for pretty much all my life. And so given this opportunity, I felt like I would regret it if I didn't do, at least an A's hat. And this particular logo style, I've always wanted to do. I've always been interested in just how it would turn out. And in my head, these colors that I chose were always in my head because I've really got a thing for oceanside blue, and I just wanted to see how it would look, with this seaweed green, and then with this cascading logo. And the thing that it's always something. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate what I'm thinking. And put it into words to help you translate it, or anybody translate it into this. But I have to say, Leon, I couldn't have asked for better, in terms of you interpreting my vision, because it looked exactly like I saw it in my head. So I'm hopeful that this turns into the real hat that was in my head too, because obviously metallics can be kind of tricky sometimes. Sometimes it could be too much. Sometimes it could be just right. So I'm hoping that what my vision was just right. Yeah.
So first things first, I had to press and make sure my Ricky Henderson jersey was fresh and ready for the episode.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've long been, as long as I've known you, like one of the premier Oakland collectors.
Yeah.
Maybe I've kind of like underestimated the power of the Oakland hat a little bit. I think it has to do with the lack of good side patches.
Yeah, for
sure.
To
be completely honest, I love the Old English apostrophe A logo. So I had a lot of fun making this. I admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of the Cascade, but to step out of my comfort zone and make something that you wanted is going to be pretty cool. And maybe I'll warm up to them. But the thing I remember about this one is we did a lot of double. So there's like a lot of I don't know even what you call them, but a lot of color breaks.
Yes.
I think we doubled up on a couple of them. So I'm very interested to see how that.
Me too. Yeah. Because I know that the different versions of the cascading logo that I've seen, the color breaks it's a different color for every break. And, and I didn't want to do it that way, because, frankly, I didn't want to come up with all those different colors, number one, to try and figure out what was going to look good. Because in my head, I always had it that I'm not obviously doing a traditional A's colorway for the hat, but I wanted to pay respect to the A's colors in the cascade of the logo and in the side patch. And I think that at least from a mock-up perspective, it really translated really well. And the oceanside blue and the seaweed look really good together. So I'm really hopeful that it translates well on the hat.
I'm excited to see that one. All right.
And what I'm really excited to see is if you go back to the mock-up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you can.
I can. No problem.
The one thing I'm really curious to see is that we added that extra break, that dark break
Yeah,
after the
shadow
main
almost.
logo. Yeah, exactly. And I'm really curious to see how that translated, because I'd seen that done before, but I'd only seen a picture. I've never seen it, in hand, what it actually looked like. And I just remember that it helped make the main logo stand out a little bit from the cascade, which it shows really well in the mock-up. But I'm hoping it comes across really well in the hat too.
Yeah. One thing I'm curious to see on the final product is, did they center the logo on the A, which we did in the mock-up, or did they center it completely, which we'll find out in a couple minutes, which will be kind of cool. But I'm thinking
that's
out
always
loud
tricky.
right now.
That's always tricky. So what's your take on that? It should be on the logo itself, not on the cascade, right?
I prefer in this case, I prefer the A to be centered, not the center of the cascade.
Right.
In the past, the Marlins, I know, originally centered their logo and then eventually moved towards centering the F. So I think I'm more used to seeing the main subject matter be the center, whereas it's not the weighted thing. And I think the A's do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
The A's normally typically center their A.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm looking right now too. My other one's over here. And yes, they say they definitely center it.
Yeah. So I hope they keep that same tradition.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
I agree. I hope so too.
So then we kind of scratched the nerd itch a little bit. We went something totally different. You introduced me to characters. Admittedly, I do like Star Wars. I'm a bit of like OCD where I have to watch every episode of something.
Sure.
And I feel like something's missing that I haven't watched a lot of the animated Star Wars stuff. So we made one of these. And this was really I don't know, this was like 4 months ago. So this was like really before some of the alien controversy happened later.
Yep. Right. And one of the things too that we were unsure of was whether or not I was going to be able to get the big logo.
The big logo.
The big face, and that's what I really wanted ultimately. So
I can't wait to see this one.
But this was definitely a challenge because of the color inspiration, because obviously I didn't give you the best pictures, to go on, but I really, and I think the other trick for us was finding the right shade of blue for the crown. But I think ultimately in the end, we ended up with a shade that I liked, and I'm really excited to see how the face looks, because the embroidery that we did, the colors that we chose were two similar colors, and that's always tricky, because especially with light colors like that, because you might get some washout, and you might not be able to really see the difference. And I'm really excited to see, if that shadow that's on the side of the face and the laces, if that comes out well. And then of course, I'm really, really hoping the color translation that I chose for the brim and the undervisor really translated into the character's hair, that I was going for.
Yeah. But two hats already, and two hats with front logos on both ones. So that's a really interesting take on it. No real side patches yet. So I do like that kind of shift up. I don't like generic league patches, so I'm glad we didn't go that direction. So we got two different front logos. So
I really wanted something, I wanted to see, like, at least in my choice of this particular logo, is that I hadn't seen that 51's logo used very much. And so I really was hoping, that would give me just a different feel, altogether on that. So I really like the way the mock-up turned out for sure. And let's cross our fingers that, that it really translated well, because I really was happy with the way this came out.
Yeah, perfect. All right. And then last but not least, the finale, running anchor. We got our third hat here. Let me pull it up for you. So
Now that it's made, though, I can speak directly of the influence, right? Or the inspiration.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's too late now. Haha.
Yeah, exactly right. It's made. Yeah. So, so my inspiration on this one, as you said, I scratched my inner nerd with some Star Wars, and I'm a big fan of the animated series, The Clone Wars. And in that series, Anakin Skywalker he's got a uniform that it's not necessarily it's his costume essentially, but it's just a different color palette than what you're used to seeing him in some of the movies and stuff like that. So I really was going after that. And the reason that I chose the prototype logo was because I wanted to be able to illustrate both of his lightsabers for when he was good and when he was bad. And so that's what I was after, using the strips there, because I knew that not only could I illustrate it there, but we'd also be able to transfer it well into the side patch, because that 45-year anniversary patch has the good striping that that you can utilize as well there. Now, the biggest struggle I remember from this was first deciding how to arrange the colors, because we did a couple of arrangements beforehand that just didn't work. I mean, it was, it was just
like
too
front
busy.
red panel and stuff.
Yeah. It was just too busy. And when we settled on this, this definitely settled it down, a lot to me. And where you helped me the most was in the side patch, because once we had the red and the blue in the side patch and the metallic pewter in the side patch, where to go from there was kind of a difficult call. And I mean, you just rolled through and said, okay, white, black, we're done. And it was perfect. I mean, it was just, it just gave it the right balance and helped the things that I wanted to stand out, because I think that sometimes when you have a side patch that gives you a lot of color opportunities, that sometimes people have a tendency to take too many opportunities in that patch, and it gets a little noodly, So I'm really, this one, I'm super excited the way the mock-up turned out, and I really hope that it translates well in the hat, because I think this looks really cool.
All right, perfect. So those three were in. We got them all put in production. I kind of surprised you a little bit, and I was like, all right, so need your address, need your size again. Something's coming your way. So there's a box, and I'm sure you're skilled enough to shake a box and know how many hats are inside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Now they changed it. Now they messed me up a little bit in here, and they made it a much bigger box. So it was a little bit harder to tell, because sometimes when you get the smaller boxes, you can just tell by the weight, that there's more than 2 hats in there, So this one was a little bit tricky. So it was so I'm dying to see. You ready to go?
Let's go. Okay. I don't even have the hats yet. So
oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
I don't. I mean,
right.
Colorado to California is a lot closer to Colorado than
that's true. Yeah, that's Toronto. A good point. Plus there's weather, just madness weather going on that's affecting everything too. So I remember when you messaged me about this, I was kind of surprised, how quickly they arrived. But but they still came pretty decent and pretty decent timing.
In the bag.
And this is good stuff too. I love when they ship in bags. That's one thing Pro Ridge, Colorado is always good about. Oh man. All right. First one up is the A's.
Oof.
That turned out fantastic.
Do you remember if we used glow in the A? I don't even remember.
No, it's optic white.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's just optic white. I think it's just my light. I'm right in front of a window.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just getting a lot of, just a lot of white light in here. But
that navy with the darkish green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
But that just turned out really, really good. This was the thing that I was curious about too, was how
metallic.
Oops, look at this. We get this a little lower from the window. There we go.
Yeah.
That'll give us a better shot.
Perfect.
But that looks great. And then the back hit with some traditional A's colors right there.
Mm-hmm. Field green and
but this seaweed and this oceanside blue, exactly what I was hoping for.
Man, nailed it.
Exactly what I was hoping for.
Beautiful.
And the break, and the break here,
that shadow, yeah,
that's what I was really, you know, and it really does help the main logo pop. You know, it really does.
perfect.
Or at least in my opinion, it does. And to your point, it's centered.
Nice.
It's centered on the A.
Beautiful.
So
love it.
Turned out great.
How's it fit?
Oh, perfect. Good. China too. Yep.
Yeah. We can't send them back. It's too late. All right. Number 2.
Okay. Number
Let's
2.
see that. Aliens.
All right. Ooh. That
now,
real nice.
If I remember correctly, the logo that we wanted on the side, was not
it's
available.
Different.
So
it's
we
different.
Had the audible. Yeah.
It's different. Yep. But I'm not mad at all. So here it is. Here's the 51s.
Oof. That thing is shining.
And you've got the contrast that the slight contrast that I wanted in the shadow that's on the side and the laces is really good. The eyes look good.
Really funky. Yeah.
And then that's the logo that we ended up audibling to, I guess. Yeah.
So I remember when we mocked this up, you're like, I want the big one. I don't know if it's available or not. And at the time, we hadn't seen any. And then when Pierre and Topper Store dropped theirs, I think I messaged you. I was like, okay, so I guess we're good for that one.
Yeah. We messaged each other. We were like within minutes of each other. I was like, hey, did you see this? And you're like, I was just about to message you.
Yeah.
So this is awesome, dude. This is great.
Perfect.
I really like the way this contrast works, because that's really what I was after. Awesome. But this, I wish my light wasn't so glaringly bright in here. But
what we could do is we can add some pictures in post. Really.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Because you can really see it there. You can see that there's, it's not the same color. But I'm super happy with this, Leon. Thank you. This is great. And then the back hit turned out real nice too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
Awesome. That's cap 2. All right.
Yep.
Cap 3.
Solid.
That prototype.
Yeah.
Anakin.
All right.
Yeah, this one I really like the colors, because this was like like you had mentioned it. This is like a suit that he normally wasn't seen in. So he had like the insignia on his shoulder and the different color breaks.
Yeah, it's like so it's like a tunic. It's like a 2-part tunic, a 2 different colored tunic underneath, and then he wears like this armor that goes across his chest and his shoulders. Mm-hmm. And so the brim is where that I'm trying to capture that color, but that armor color was so difficult because depending on the light that they were showing him in, sometimes it looks gray, sometimes it looks bluish gray, other times it looks black. So it was really hard to nail down what was going to work, but I think what we did here made the most sense, with this dark graphite. But there we go. I want to get the colors to show because that light from the window. But this stuff is shiny. Look at that.
Damn.
And then the side patch.
Yeah, it's like a whole lightsaber battle on the front.
Yeah, right? That's exactly what I was after. That was exactly what I was after. Man. But this, and this is what I was really, really after. And like I said, the hard part was trying to decide
where everything went,
where the color should go. Right. And, the more that I looked at the pictures, the more because this color is like the under tunic, that's like an undershirt, if you will. And then this is the main color over it. And then this is the armor, so this turned out fantastic. Again, you helped me achieve the exact vision that I had.
My pleasure.
This is great.
Awesome job, man. It was a lot of fun. I feel like it was kind of like a secret project. We sat down and recorded for a couple hours one day, didn't tell anyone, and then all of a sudden now it's like the grand reveal. So
well, with this too, since I didn't know, if they were going to get made at all or how many were going to get made, I talked to maybe like 2 people. About this, and that was it, and I did that on purpose because I don't want to talk up some hats and then have them never materialize, you know? So, but this, I'm fired up on this. I'm all of them. This is great. This is really great. But yeah, I didn't talk to a lot of people about this at all. And then when you and I talked and you said, hey, your hat should be landing soon. I was like, what? What do you said hats? How many is that? And you're like, all 3. And I was like, oh, come on. This is awesome. Yeah. So
that's awesome. I gotta thank Luke and the team over at Pro Image Colorado for trusting in the vision and giving this platform the ability to give back to great people like you. You've been a dear friend of mine for, I don't know, it's gotta be 5 plus 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a while now, you know, and you know, and I truly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to join you on your show. Cause that's an incredible honor for me, you know, and really, you know, like you said, you know, shout out to the guys at Pro Image, because, you know, they've been one of the foremost stores, you know, out there working with the community, you know, helping people realize their hats. And it's a great outlet, you know, to have. And I mean, for me to be able to just come up with an idea, you know, off of some stuff that, you know, that I enjoy, or just had a vision in my head, and be able to, like, you know, not only just commit it to a mock-up, because we see lots of people out there do that, you know, just commit stuff to a mock-up, but to be able to turn it into reality, you know, I mean, that's super exciting. You know, I'm really stoked. Thank you so much.
So all 3 of these hats available right now, proimagesports.com. All you gotta do is search Leon, and these 3 plus some of my latest releases will be there for your buying pleasure. Hopefully, if you guys are fans of either the subject matter or the team, you guys will pick it up and support. And just a reminder, Who's the Hat God 6 contest is still going on. Slots are filling up fast. We're down trying to fill up our first round of 24 entries. We will be making close to 50 hats when it's all said and done. So that's what we do around here, you know. I live, breathe, and consume hats. It's been a fun ride. You asked me off camera, how do I keep going? I don't know. I just a lot less sleep than probably healthy people get, but
not to mention that you're quite a night owl yourself, right? So you're working wee into the late hours. So
but yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love what I do. I love being able to share it and get other people involved like yourself. You know, you've been a great friend to me, and
thanks,
I cherish these things, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed the process. This was a crazy idea thought up of mine, to be able to bring on cool people and just talk and spread the hat culture and be able to create.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great idea. You know, when I first saw you starting to advertise for this show, I thought, wow, that's because it very much reminded me of the early days of when I first started to get to know you, because I remember you talking about designing, you know, mocking up and doing that, you know, like on camera.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same format as this, but the idea was there, you know? Yeah. And so when you first started doing that, I'm just like, God, that totally reminds me of the old days. You know, this is, you know, this takes me back. Sure. And then to be able to be a part of it is really, again, it means a tremendous amount to me. And I really appreciate you extending the invitation and letting me be a part of the work that you're doing and this great show that you're doing. I'm glad to be part of the files that people can go through, and, you know, they're going to get to go through and see me, you know, working on a hat too. I think that's really cool.
I love it, man. I love it. So the only thing we got to do is we got to do a better job of keeping in touch. So
yes, for sure. Well, you know, I mean, it's like now, I mean, you're busy all the time, so I'll just reach out whenever, and you hit me back when you're free.
Exactly. All right. So we appreciate everyone watching. Anyone who's gotten, you know, this far to it. We'll stop this circle jerk and love fest for each other. But yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Let us know in the comments which of these hats are your favorite. And shout out again to our sponsor, Pro Image Sports Colorado. Leon and Aaron, we're out of here.
Right on. Thank you.
of